Welcome back to Letters from Rebel, a space for the fears that we carry, the choices we avoid, the conformity we praise, and the chains we kiss. Reflections on courage, habits, motivation, and the inner rebellion that reshapes who we become. Savage work is disciplined violence towards mediocrity, starting with your own. Today's topic is a little bit sensitive, yet I'm still gonna ask you about how was your day. And I'm not asking if your day is busy or if you have finished what was assigned to you. I mean something simpler but yet deeper. Did your effort today leave a mark anywhere that matters to you? Have you been efficient or have you been impactful? You know, for a very long time I thought that the key for success was efficiency, until I realized that efficiency is for robots and we are not machines. Especially in this modern world where efficiency and hustle culture are shoved down our throats and we are competing with artificial intelligence. So there's no way out. But somewhere along the way, we started mistaking movement for meaning. We learned to measure our days by how much we handled instead of how much we have shaped. And when that became the norm, I think that mediocrity no longer looked like a failure, but it looks like responsibility repeated over time. And there's nothing wrong with being efficient, by the way. In fact, efficiency keeps things running. It keeps teams aligned, systems stable, it builds reliability, it builds trust, and in many environments, it builds career. The problem begins where efficiency becomes the highest goal. And the problem begins where speed replaces depth and completion replaces consequences. So a machine can be efficient, but a person or a human being has to be impactful. There was a time in my life where I worked in customer service and I followed the processes and SOPs and protocols to the letter. I answered quickly, I solved problems within the framework I was given. And, customers were satisfied. I had very good KPIs and I had a lot of appreciation letters from my superiors. And I was efficient and there is dignity in that. But over time, I started to feel that I'm solving issues, all right, but nothing is changing about the system itself. So I was operating well inside a structure that stayed exactly the same. And later on, I moved into a totally different field of work where I had direct impact on how people felt about themselves, whether it was their performance, their appearance, their confidence, and I could see the shift immediately. When I applied my effort and my force with intention, and when I stayed longer with someone, when I pushed beyond the script and I used my judgment instead of a procedure, honestly, the result had much more weight. Someone has walked away differently than the way he came in. And that experience taught me something very important, that the same hours can either maintain a system or they can move a life. And the difference between working efficiently and working with force, working like a savage. And when I speak about working like a savage or working like a beast or working with force, I'm not speaking about being reckless. I'm speaking about intensity directed towards something that matters to you. I'm speaking about authorship. Efficiency asks you how to complete what is assigned to you, but working like a savage asks you whether what was assigned to you is enough or not. And modern hustle cultures, they confuse movement with meaning, as we said before, and it celebrates packed calendars. It celebrates instant replies and visible activity. You have to show that you are working. It praises the person who's always available and who's always responsive, who's always producing something. And that model creates people who are useful, but they are tired at the same time. They work hard, but yet their work rarely alters directions. They sustain momentum, yet they rarely shape it. And there is another cost people rarely speak about. Efficiency does not only consume your energy at work, it often consumes your life outside it. So, how many of you have answered their emails during dinner because you're responsible? You stay late because you are reliable. You travel because the opportunity makes sense. And years pass while you are being productive and you're being efficient. And somewhere inside that productivity, the birthdays, they became shorter than they should have been. The conversations are rushed. The children, they grew up. The parents, they aged. Even your own body has changed while you were optimizing. Efficiency keeps the machine running, but it does not slow time for you. And working like a beast does not mean sacrificing your life for work. It means being deliberate about where your effort goes. So what you build is worth the hours that it is taking from you. Because everything costs time. And the question is whether what you build deserves it or no. Working like a savage means that you choose where your energy lands. It means that you accept that if you want to become someone with weight, you will have to pay in hours, you'll have to pay in focus, in repetition. There's no impact without volume or effort. And mastery demands time. Building something meaningful requires depth. If you want to lead, you will spend nights thinking about problems other people avoid. If you want to build something meaningful, you'll have to put hours that no one's gonna upload for you. And that cost is real and it is necessary. What separates force from hustle is intention. Hustle tries to do more, but force tries to matter more. Inside the corporation, from my experience, there are limits. Not every role allows radical change. Not every system welcomes disruption. And not every battle is yours to fight in any way. So some environments will require patience, and some environments will require learning. Some require strategic silence. So rebellion does not mean self-destruction. It means clarity about what you are trading. And if your work already impacts people in a way that you respect, then make it deeper. Sharpen your skill, improve the process, and mentor someone. Raise the standard and apply the force inside the structure. You know, many companies change because someone inside them decides to push harder than the procedure requires. And what I mean by that, there are moments in business history all over the globe when a leader makes a decision that spreadsheets alone would never approve it. And, you know, think about companies that were near collapse because no one wanted to make a bold decision or an uncomfortable decision. When a leader steps in and decides to shut down a division, for example, or restructure operations or redirect the entire strategy despite the resistance, because nobody likes change, everybody is resistant to change. That's not being efficient, that is a force applied at the right pressure point. I'm going to give you a controversial example. Carlos Ghosn, when he led the turnaround in Nissan, he did not save the company by replying to emails faster. He made decisions that were uncomfortable, unpopular, and risky. Whether one agrees with everything that follows later in his career is irrelevant. But the turnaround itself came from decisive force, not from smoother reporting cycles, you know. That's what I mean by impact inside the system. Not a rebellion for a theater, not a noise, or not something dramatic, but the courage to alter direction when maintenance is no longer enough. So if your environment restricts impact, then authorship does not disappear when the office closes, you know. You still own your evenings, you still own your weekends. You can write, you can build, you can study, you can volunteer, you can launch a small project, you can create something that did not exist before, you can mentor someone who needs direction, you can experiment with an idea that carries risk. You can shape a corner of the world without asking permission from a corporate hierarchy. You know, working like a beast means that you refuse to let your entire identity be defined by maintenance or by KPI. You respect efficiency, but you do not worship it. You understand that spreadsheets tracks output, but they don't track consequences. You understand that having an inbox 0 does not equal significance. You understand that business can become a shield against risk. And force always costs something. It costs comfort because you will push beyond your routine. It will cost approval because not everyone welcomes change. It costs time because meaningful work demands repetition. It costs energy because depth drains more than the surface activity does. And if you want to become someone important in any field, you will have to pay in hours and in focus. There is no shortcut around that. Impact is expensive. The question is not whether you are working hard or not. The question is whether your hard work is moving anything that matters to you. At the end of the week, you can ask yourself simple questions like, did I improve something tangible? Did I make a decision that required courage? Did I create value that did not exist before? Did I sharpen my ability? If the answer is yes, then you are applying force. If the answer is no, then efficiency has taken the lead. And efficiency keeps the engine running, but force decides where the vehicle is going. And the rebellion in work is not a loud rebellion. It's precise. It is the refusal to drift. It is the choice to build something with weight, whether inside the system that pays you or outside in the hours that you protect for yourself. It is the discipline to put in the hours when the work deserves it, and the maturity to withdraw your energy when it does not. It's as simple as that. Work like a savage. Work like a beast. Work with authorship. Respect the system, but do not dissolve in it. Put in the hours that matters. Accept the cost that impacts demands. Choose the battles that justify your life force. Choose the battles that means something to you. Efficiency will make you reliable. Working like a savage will make you consequential. And if you apply real force to your work long enough, you eventually, at the end, you will run into a very hard question. What exactly are you trying to win? You begin to question what you're actually climbing towards. Because it's one thing to work hard, it's another thing to realize that the ladder you're climbing was handed to you without your awareness. Titles, promotions, applause, visible status, they look like proof of success. They look like the top. But the top according to whom? If you don't define winning for yourself, you will spend all your life applying force to a scoreboard that you never chose. And you may reach it, only to discover that it measures everything except what matters to you. This is where we'll go next. Not how to win more, but how to decide what winning actually means before you give your life to it.